In the last lecture, you learned what copywriting is and why copywriting is so important. I showed you a couple of examples about how we've already seen it in some of these sections of the course, and really some examples of how you'll be using it later on in the course as well. So it's not a standalone topic, it's really integrated into everything else because you'll be using words to persuade people both on your website and off your website to really take action. Now in this lecture, you're going to learn how to write for your buyer persona. I just really want to resurface this point about buyer persona because it's really relevant to copywriting. And the key point here is that you cannot write effective sales copy or copy in general unless you know who you're writing for, how that person thinks, and what their needs are. So it's time to really dust off the buyer persona that you made in the marketing plan section of the course. You'll remember that we spent quite a bit of time on this. It was step 1 in the 5-step process to create your marketing plan. And here's the example of mine once again to remind you. It's a semi-fictional person, but including a lot of information about them so you can really picture them in your mind and really understand what their pain points are, what's holding them back, and what they need help with. If you have that in mind when you are writing your copy, it's going to be much more effective because you're not going to be writing for a large crowd. You're really going to be writing for that one buyer persona, and you'll know how to serve those best. So I've included the links there back to the marketing plan template, and also how you can gather some feedback from your buyer personas about their pain points and sending out that survey with Typeform, which was really priceless to hear in people's own words what they're struggling with. So you can even in your copy that you put on your page use those same words, those pain points that people have identified and the key things that they're really looking for. So if you haven't done research, then don't expect to get great results. But as you've done it already in this course, I think you are really approaching copywriting already with the right mindset. And this is a big mistake that a lot of people make. They don't have a buyer persona in mind when they start to write sales copy and try and drive traffic to their site, and it's just a situation that can lead to a lot of waste. So that is really resurfacing the buyer persona. You're going to be using them for copywriting, but before you write a single word, there's another common mistake people make, and that is not clearly defining goals. If you want results, you need to start setting goals. And when your goals are set, you can find out really best how to achieve them. So set your goal before you write a single word. Each page should have one goal. And what action are you trying to persuade your readers to take? Is there anything on the page that is distracting them from that goal? And as a general rule for copywriting, what I would say is that you should just have one clear goal for the person and get them to complete that action. If you have a lot of competing pop-ups and different offers and incentives, people can get distracted because you're presenting so many options to them, and sometimes what they do is just, instead of making a decision, they just leave the page. So be willing to put creative, innovative copy ideas aside if boring to the point copy is what actually works, and keep that goal in mind. We've set up a goal in the email marketing section of the course as well, really in Google Analytics, to get people to sign up to your email list. That was the goal that I suggested there. We're tracking that in Google Analytics as well. We set up a goal. So really the copywriting at this stage should really be aimed at persuading people to sign up to your email list. And we are not just thinking that that's our goal and writing it down on paper. We're actually tracking that as well for our website. What you should really remember is that every headline, image, subject line should tie back to your buyer persona and really persuade them to take that action that you defined for them on the page. And I think one key exercise that I've personally found helpful and that I think you should use as well, is as you were going through the writing process, bring that buyer persona into the room. Imagine they're sitting there beside you, looking over your shoulder at their computer, and imagine how they'd react to your content. Would they jump out of their seat if they saw your headline? Would they really be interested to learn more? Or, you know, would they not be? It's just a simple exercise. It can get you looking at your own work from a different perspective, and really make sure you're aligned to your buyer persona. So that is just a quick recap and exercise that you can use, but it's really important to do on an ongoing basis, so you make sure that you're really writing for your buyer persona and meeting their needs. All right, coming up in the next lecture then, we're really getting stuck into AIDA, and we're going to focus on the A for AIDA, which is attention, and really how you get that attention with magnetic headlines.